All right, everyone. Here's the video for 6.2, multiplying and dividing rational expressions. I'm going to share my screen, and here we go. So we are beginning with page 531 and the get started part. We are going to be simplifying fractions here. All right. So let us begin. This one, 12 over 10 times 5 over 4. So me, instead of going into multiplying straight across, and some of you would be 60 over 40, right? And of course, you can do that. And then if you divide the top and the bottom by 20, that would be 3 over 2. That's okay. All right. However, I trained myself into doing something else. Instead of doing that, I would not multiply right away because I would always try to figure out whether there are numbers or terms that I can cancel out, which will help me with rational expressions. With numbers, it's easy like this. You just multiply straight across. But once you get to rational expressions, the skill of being able to simplify quickly right from the beginning by canceling out common terms or common factors would be important. So 12 and 4 cancels out, leaves you with a 3 here. All right. While 5 and 10 cancels out, leaving you with a 2 here. And of course, same answer, 3 over 2. Okay. Next one. So when we divide fractions, the algorithm tells us to multiply by the reciprocal. All right. So the negative 3 halves remains the same. Negative 3 fifths remains the same. And then you flip the second fraction, which means the top becomes the bottom becomes the top, and then instead of dividing, we turn it into multiplication. Then again, I will do the cancellation that I was talking about. These two cancels out, one here, one here. All right. They don't really go away, it just becomes a one. All right. Well, this one, these two cancels out, gives me a 4. Therefore, the final answer is negative 4. Okay. Last one. So same thing. I will be um, multiplying by the reciprocal. All right. So that would be like this, 4. All right. And then that 4 actually cancels out with the denominator. Leaves me with a 2. Okay. And the answer is positive 1/2 because of the negative here and the negative here. All right. And there's your answer. I'm going to be skipping the construct your understanding. I'm going to move on to multiplying rational expressions right away, which is check your understanding number 1. So simplify each expression. And of course, we have to think about what would be the non-permissible value. So let me begin by doing the non-permissible value. The non-permissible value is defined as that value for the variable, which would make the expression undefined. All right. In this case, if this fraction would have a 0 as a denominator, then it would be undefined, and that would happen when a is equal to 0. Therefore, the non-permissible value here, NPV, would be a cannot be equal to 0. Okay. So let's simplify. What are the things that can go away? Well, the 3 here and the 9 here cancels out, leaving you with the 3 here. All right. There's an a here, which cancels out with the square of the a here. And I think that is about it because b does not appear on the bottom. So the simplified form would be 2b squared over 15a. All right, let's check the numbers and make sure that you are able to cancel out the right ones. Okay, and I think that looks good. Next one. So here, what can we cancel out in letter B? So this x squared would cancel out with this x here and this x here. All right. While this 2 would cancel out with the 8 here, giving me a 4 down here. All right. What else? Oh, that x plus 2 would also cancel out with this x plus 2. So what is left? So guys, this one is what you still have. There's a 3 and there's a 4. All right. So I think the final answer would be 5 times x minus 4 over 12. And if you're thinking, do I need to make it 5x minus 20 over 12? You don't have to. It would be nice if you can do that, but you don't really need to because you have shown that you know how to rational or simplify rational expressions if your answer was just like this. By the way, the non-permissible values would be when, if you go back to the original question here, if that x becomes a 0, so that denominator would become undefined. So you cannot have a 0. What else? This one here, when x plus 2 becomes 0, so that means when x is negative 2, it becomes an unpermissible value. And that's it. All right. We move on to the next one. Page 533. This time we are dividing rational expressions. So once again, let's look at the algorithm. When you divide fractions, you multiply by the reciprocal. So what we have is 7n cubed over 4. And then flip the second fraction. As you can see, I'm going to be splitting it up into 7n times 7n. Okay. Why? I have a reason for that. Because look at this. So that I can see that when I cancel out this 7, I still have 1 7 left. All right. And now n cubed, the cube would cancel out with these two n's, leaving me with still 1n up here. All right. And then the 12 cancels out with the 4, giving me a 3 right here. So let's see what is left. There's a negative, and then there's a 3 over 3n over 7. Okay. Now, what is the non-permissible value? As you can see, from the beginning, there appears to be no non-permissible value. However, the moment that you flipped it over, all right, when you flip the fraction over into this, when those n's become a 0, so that will be an unpermissible value. Okay. So really, the non-permissible value would be whenever there is a step in your solution right from the beginning wherein the denominator could become a 0 by plugging in a certain value for the variable, that would be a non-permissible value. So that means it could be at the beginning, it could be somewhere along the solution, in the steps of the solution, or right at the end. Okay. Next one. So once again, let's just flip over the other one. All right. So by the way, guys, look. Okay. So as I flip this over, 10 times x minus 3. The non-permissible values, you could already take a look. Okay. Non-permissible value would be x cannot be 0 because of this, right? X cannot be negative 5 because of this. But at the beginning, you could see that only those two would be the non-permissible values. However, the moment you flip the second fraction, x minus 3 becomes, or x is equal to 3 becomes another non-permissible value. All right, so just be aware of that. Be careful. And now we can continue simplifying. What cancels out? This and this. What else? This x here and this x here. Now be careful. This 5 cancels out with a 10, leaving you with a 2 here. Okay. So what are left? Let's take a look. We have a 3 remaining on top. We have this remaining on top. We have a 2 here. We have a 2 here. All right. So those are the things that we need. So just a 3 on top over. No, x plus 5, sorry. Over 4. And again, you may choose to make it 3x plus 15 over 4. It's up to you. Okay. And that's the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to split this up into two parts. The other video for um, check understanding number 3 will be um, posted. Okay. Thank you. Bye.